Welcome to my studio. I would like to do a demonstration on one-point perspective for you. I have here my charcoal pad on a drawing board. I have it taped up here so it won't fall because I have the angle so that you guys can see it on the screen. I have it propped up on an easel just for demonstration purposes, but normally you could probably do this on a desk flat. You don't have to do this standing up. And I'm going to start out with one-point perspective today. I also have here, they call them T-squares, but this is actually in the shape of an L. It's a big giant ruler that I'm going to use. A ruler will save your life. Please do not try to attempt perspective drawing without a ruler. You're definitely going to need one. So for the sake of lighting and demo, I'm going to use probably a charcoal pencil, but what you need to use is a regular HB pencil, an H pencil, or a mechanical pencil, or a draftsman pencil. You want a technical pencil that can get sharp if you can. You need a nice needle point. And you also need graphite that can erase very well, because you're going to be drawing lines that don't exist in the real world, and you want to make sure that you erase those. Okay, so I'm going to get my nice trusty art pack here. Remember I told you I had a laptop case, so I'm going to get out. I'm going to use a charcoal pencil just for the darkness because I want to make sure that you can see my lines, but I would not recommend doing charcoal with perspective drawing. All right, so there's my art kit. I'm going to grab one of these that's already, or you can try an ebony pencil, but this is a charcoal pencil. Oh, these are just the coolest in the world. You see that? Charcoal pencil. I'm not sure if I sharpened the part where it tells me if this is hard, soft, or medium, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. Well, we'll see. I have some other ones in here if this is not the right one. Oh, I have a 2B. All right, here's a 2B. Now, some charcoal pencils will tell you this one says 2B on it. Okay, that's a medium, but that's a B now. That's dark, but I need it to be dark so that you guys can see what I'm doing. But I would suggest for you to get a lighter pencil, one that erases a little bit better. Okay, so basics in one-point perspective. You need a horizon line, a vanishing point, and lines that recede to the horizon line. So what you want to do is have your paper and have your ruler. Now, in order to make lines not be crooked, whatever point you put your horizon line over here, that's the same thing it needs to be over here, because if not, it'll be slanted. So how do I do that? Let's take my ruler here, and I want to make my horizon line probably about maybe somewhere in there. So that puts me at 9 inches. And this paper is, I think this is 19 by, I can see it in the back. This is 19 by 24, and I'm doing it horizontally. So, whoops, I want to put maybe about 9 inches. Same thing over here, and my clips are in the way, but you get the point. Try to put it in the same place. All right, that's going to tell me where I need to make my line. Let's erase my little accident mark. So you want to keep a ruler handy, pencils, and erasers for perspective drawing. Okay, now I'm going to connect my 2 dots. Both of these are 9 inches from the bottom of the paper if I did it correctly. And try not to get my clip is in the way. Let's, no, I can't. Let's do it like this. All right, I'm going to try to do it. I know my clip is in the way, but I want to make sure that I can get good leverage on that. And if it goes off, you get the point. All right, so you line up your ruler to your little marks there. Steady hand, make sure it doesn't move. Cross your fingers. All right, I see right now I want my darker pencil. So I want my darker pencil for you guys because this is a recording on this computer screen. I want you to be able to see it. But you don't want to go that dark. You want to draw lightly with perspective drawing. So this is your horizon line. This is your imaginary line where the sky meets the earth. It doesn't exist in real life. It only exists to the human eye because we're not big enough to see the whole earth. All right, now on that line, you're going to put one little dot that you can see. Where do you put the dot? Anybody want to guess? It does not have to be in the center, but it does need to be on the line. So a lot of people like that, you think you have to put it in the center. You could put it over here. And then wherever you put it, all your lines have to converge to that dot. So it does not have to be in the center. So if you're looking at the road and you're standing over to the side and you're not like right smack dab in the middle of the road, if you're over here, then your vanishing point is going to be over here. So it does not have to be in the center. So I'm going to put mine maybe about right there, just for the sake of you knowing that it does not have to be in the center. All right, I don't know if you can see. I'm going to make it bigger than normal so that you can see it on this screen on my demo, but it's not supposed to be that big. So I made it a little bigger so you can see my little dot. All right, so every line needs to converge to that point. Okay, this could be a fence, this could be a road, this could be train tracks, this could be a building, anything, a room, whatever you want. So just for the sake of time, we're going to show you, I don't know, a road. Why don't we do the easy part? So what am I going to do? At this point, all that matters is everything needs to line up to that vanishing point. Now this is a little bit difficult for me because I have this thing on an easel, but I'm going to do it like this. Let's be smart about this. Let's work smarter and not harder. You want it to go to the vanishing point. And I'm going to go off the edge of the paper. I'm going to let my easel hold it, and I'm going to hold this side with my hand. And y'all just cross your fingers. But either way, that line needs to meet that point at that dot on that horizon line. And try not to move. It's hard to do it this way because I'm working vertically here, and I'm not working flat. Okay? Now, same thing for the other side. Wherever you want it. It doesn't even have, it can even be off to the center, but I'm gonna do, let me see. Step back away from your drawings. I tell you that all the time. I'm gonna do mine about here. Now this is totally made up in my mind. Now if you have something to look at or something to reference, you would have more exact placements here, but this I'm making up as I go. All right. Now, so this is either my road, my railroad tracks, my sidewalk, whatever this is. I'm standing here and I'm looking way off into the distance, and everything way off into the distance converges and disappears into that vanishing point. Okay? Now, if I were to do a road, I would make my little lines there, but they have to get bigger or smaller as they go towards the vanishing point. Very good. Everything you put in here has to get smaller as you go towards the vanishing point. Anything that's man-made, that's vertical, it doesn't lay off to the side like this. It has to be straight up and down like this. So if this were a fence, you would do the poles of the fence like this, and you would need to draw your reference points, your reference lines to let you know where to draw it and how straight to make it, and erase. All right, so basically this is all you need. Everything else you can put the sun rising, the sun setting, some mountains in the background, birds flying in the air, clouds, whatever. But you need to know that if a human being were standing at this spot, they need to be able to look into the distance and everything converges into this point. So, I don't know, we could do trees maybe. Why don't I get artistic with this? And let's get some charcoal. And let's get out of the technical part. Let's just say you don't want a technical drawing. Let's just say you want to use another medium, or you want to make a landscape or something like that, but you need at least to lay out your foundation. So question in the chat, does it have to be done with a ruler? This part does, yes. So if you're laying out your horizon line, your receding lines, these are called your receding lines, lines that recede to the vanishing point. Anything that's man-made, like buildings, railroad tracks, fences, yes, you want to use a ruler. Or if you're trying to line everything up with the vanishing point, whether you draw that line or not, you still need to use a ruler, because as far as your eye is concerned, it's all lined up correctly. You can't just lay it all out like an earthquake came and everything's laying over. So why don't we get some charcoal here? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make, I'm not going to put my details of the road in. Let's just say, I don't know, let's just say I want to make some trees. Okay, so your trees here need to be big. That one might be a little bit too big. As you go into the distance, they're getting smaller. Smaller. Smaller, smaller, smaller. Now my proportions might be a little bit off because I'm sitting right close up on this, but you get the point. So your trees here are going to be big. I've been doing trees a lot this year. Okay, these trees are closer to us, so we can see more detail. So this is just an example. Let's just say you got little itty bitty trees in the distance. Well, what I could do is they're going to be really, really teeny, because if these trees are this big and they're in the distance, let's make a little bit more here. Let's go. Then so the ones closest to you are big. They gradually get smaller. I'm doing this freehand because of time. The trees like on the horizon line way back there, they're going to be like really, really small. So you know what I want to do? Instead of using this little piece of charcoal, because A is too long, B is going to be too dark. Technically, I could get my blending stump. It already has some charcoal on it from my last drawing. I want to clean it off. I'll just go back in there and just kind of check that out. Now it's not dark enough. I can go back in there a little bit more, but these are the trees that are way, way in the distance on that. And it's not dark, but I'm showing you way, way in the distance on that horizon line. Way, way in the distance. All right, my clip is in the way. I'm sorry. I'll go fix that. All right, I'm using my value here. These are lighter in value. They're lighter gray. I'm not getting black with those. All right, then I need to go back and clean up. I hadn't put my grass in there or whatever, but I'll do that, later. That line is not going to be so pronounced. I just did that so you could see it. So you're going to go back in and add your details. So what I'll do is, let's see, I'm going to make that a little bit darker, but not, I'm just going to add just a little bit of charcoal in there so I can go back and make it a little bit darker. You don't want it too dark because the stuff in the distance is darker or lighter than the stuff in the foreground. Question in the chat, the stuff in the distance, do you make it darker or lighter? Lighter, yes. So you don't want that to be dark. Now, let's just say you have some, I don't know, I'm making this up as I go. Everything you want to do, you want to go up, because you don't want to go that way. You don't want to go diagonal because stuff is going straight up. I'm looking at my reflection in this screen. All right, then you can put some little details in there. You can do the same thing on this side. If you put some trees in there, they're gonna need to be like, kind of like, you know, medium size, because they're in the distance, but they're not way in the distance. Okay. All right. We could do the other side, I guess. I don't know. What do y'all think? I'm just making this up as I go. This is total intuitive drawing. I am not even thinking about this. And I don't even know if my proportions are right, but I'm just trying to get you to understand the point here. Is this I need a softer piece of charcoal, because this is not dark enough. And eventually, if you, just like with the grid drawing, you have to go back and erase some of that horizon line, or, you know, some of those details in there, do that. You know, I didn't get all that perfectly, but I'm just seeing stuff as I go. As you go back in the distance, and actually these might be actually a little bit too dark. As you go back in the distance, your eye, unless you like Superman, you know, can't really see all that detail that far. So the further back you go, the human eye can only see so far. How would you feel in the space behind the trees without having it all blend in? Okay, so that's where you would have to decide what you want back there. Like, is this a pasture? And if so, you would have to just go in there, I would say, with your blending stump. And you probably should have done that first. But, you know, just go in there and you want to give a hint of ground. You need to do your background first. You never want to go in between your foreground and try to do this. But since I did it that way, because I was just making this up as I went along, you can just kind of go in there like that. Use your blending stump and give an idea of grass or haystacks or cows or whatever you want to put back there. You don't want it to be white though, and you don't want that line to be there, that horizon line. You either need to blend it or erase it or both. But you know, just whatever's back there. Water, I don't have time to, you know, make a big perfect thing here, but whatever you want to put back there. Water, grass. If it's a haystack, it needs to be probably about, I don't know, get your proportions right. Maybe about, I'm running out of smudge here. I don't know, that's too small. Probably need to be a little bit bigger than that. You know, you just kind of use your imagination there. But fill in some space there for your grass and what have you. So that's just an example. I'm going to stop there.